Hello, I'm Curran. I'm really into data visualization. I think it's the coolest thing on earth. And I've been doing this for a long time. I teach courses on data visualization, and I also do client services where I do data visualization projects for clients with collaborators and teams. I created this thing called VizHub originally to help me teach my courses, but it has evolved substantially, and I'm building it into a tool that I hope will be useful for professionals. VizHub, in a nutshell, is a platform for creating, sharing, and collaborating on interactive data visualizations. Although it's pretty generic, anything you can make with front-end code and graphics, you can make in VizHub. Some of the unique features of VizHub are the hot reloading and interactive widgets in conjunction with real-time collaboration like Google Docs, and also AI-assisted coding. Let me give you a brief tour of the product and what it does. The homepage is a listing of the most recent or so-called popular vizzes. Each one of these things is a viz, and these are generated by the users by forking existing vizzes. See, here's something I made a long time ago, Hello VizHub, and this is sort of the old way. This is the editor, by the way, on the side. This is the VizHub version 2 runtime, where it's just very much vanilla HTML and JavaScript, but the reason I created VizHub originally is I was teaching my course back in the day, like 2016, and Block Builder was the coolest tool around, but you couldn't use ES modules, which I really wanted. So I really wanted to be able to split things across multiple files to make the code more sustainable and well organized. So VizHub uses rollup under the hood to generate a bundle that you can run. And this one, see, has 5.7K forks. And if you click on that, you can actually see the list of all of those forks. And you can sort that list by most recent or most popular or most forked. And you can see there's this other one, Hello HTML, that has 10,000 forks. And it's crazy. And so it's this very large family tree, so to speak, of vizzes. Now, if you log in, you can go to your profile page. This is where all your vizzes will end up living. And then you can open up one of these things like submarine cables globe, for example. This is an interactive globe where you can pan and zoom. In this viz, if you scroll down, there's actually an embedded YouTube video where I walk through the construction of this example. We start with an empty globe, get the data, and make it light up. Here are a few highlights from this session. ATTRD path, and they should show up. And there they are. Oh my gosh. Look at this madness. Dot color, if I remember correctly. Boom, look at that. We get the colors. And notice that the rotation and zoom of the globe did not reset when I changed the color. And then we could even use this color picker to change the color of these lines in real time with instant feedback. I can use the interactive widgets. I'll hold down Alt and then drag this to see this continuous updating. All right, those were the highlights. This submarine cables globe session is just the most recent of this long playlist, Constructing Visualization 2024. You can watch these videos if you want to learn in depth how to code with D3 and make it work in VizHub. And yeah, so originally it was for students to fork to their account, make modifications to do their assignments, and then submit the VizHub link. If you click share, you can just copy this link and share it with somebody or share it on social media. It will unfurl, and that's how you can share it. So that was the basic premise of VizHub, a tool for students and teachers to use. But doing the client services work with teams, I really love the real-time collaboration aspect. I was using VS Code Live Share, and I still do from time to time. But I wanted to have this easier way to do that. And so in VizHub, you can add collaborators by, typing someone's name, and you get this drop down, and you can add them or remove them. You can also allow anyone to edit, which is kind of dangerous. You got to remember to switch that off. But once you add someone, you can share the link with them, and they can appear in your editor. And by the way, this editor is totally open source. It's another project called VZCode, which I've worked with students on also. So if you have any feedback, please report a bug by opening an issue there. This helps a lot. But yeah, this editor is fairly fully featured. I mean, it has tabs, so you can double click and open multiple files. It's pretty similar to VS Code. You can also open the settings here and select between a number of themes. Like OneDark is the classic, and then you can also change the font if you like. I really like Ubuntu Mono, 18 pixels, so you can sort of customize this to your heart's content. And if there's not a feature there that you need, you can add it, because this is open source. But anyway, looking at a simpler example, the version 2 runtime environment was quite limiting because I really got interested in this idea of hot reloading. So to unlock the version 3 runtime environment, you delete index.html, and then you expose a function called main from index.js that accepts as input a container, a DOM element. Doing this unlocks the interactive widgets like alt dragging numbers, and see how that updates right away, instantly, without hardly any lag. It does hot reloading at nearly 60 frames a second. And you can do the alt drag to change numbers, and you can alt click to get this color picker. And this all works with real-time collaboration too. So this is the version 3 runtime environment. This is the basis for constructing visualizations, the course, which you can see all those vizzes on the Create Viz page. This is the Create Viz page, which has sort of curated templates. There's one section for constructing visualizations 2024. Notice how these are glowing yellow. That's a signal that it uses the version 3 runtime and supports hot reloading. So all of these examples support hot reloading. Another neat thing you can do only with the version 3 runtime environment in VizHub is import things across vizzes. And if you alt-click on one of these, you can follow it to its source. So here's the responsive axes example, where when you open it full screen, you can see how it's responsive. If I change the browser zoom, it changes and the tick mark density changes. This example exports a couple of things, which are imported in this parallel coordinates with brushing example. This is how you can import things across vizzes, creating kind of an ecosystem of code. Now, when you export the code by clicking this Download Code button, you get a zip file, and in this zip file, there are all the different vizzes that are imported from. Those files are set up in such a way that it is compatible with NPM workspaces. So if you have a traditional project with Vite or some other framework, you can set up your NPM workspaces and use this Vite export template as an example if you want to migrate your code outside of VizHub. This is the exact same code as is in VizHub, but it works with Vite and you can develop locally. And this also opens the door for wrapping your code as components in various frameworks. Revision history is also in the works. This shows you thumbnails for all the past revisions. And you can zoom in and out on this, so you can see all the changes that it's been through. Pretty neat. See, this is where I opened it up for anyone to edit and forgot to switch that off. Somebody just started editing it. But then I put it back, and then this was the AI-generated large circle. And in the future, we will be able to restore to a previous version. But for now, you can just click on these and open them. And then it says, you are viewing a previous version of this viz. So restore to version coming soon. But you can view it, at least, and see the code from that version, which is pretty neat. And when you do restore it to a previous version, like this one, and then you continue editing, this will actually branch off because the history is a tree data structure. And if you were to zoom out of this, you could even link it back to the previous viz that it was forked from. And each of these revisions may have been forked into other vizzes as well. I actually made a prototype visualization here which shows a sample of this sort of pan-viz revision history. Each node here is a revision, and this shows multiple vizzes with many revisions. So this initializes with a tree layout, and then it transitions to a force-directed layout. See, it uses the tree stuff from D3 and also the force stuff. And this one renders on canvas. So one day, I hope to make an interface like this where you can zoom in and out and see the thumbnails of all the vizzes and then search within this, but that day has not come yet. There's also this really neat AI Assist feature where if you just put the cursor somewhere, you can click AI Assist and it will use OpenAI's GPT-4 to fill in the code based on what it thinks you need. Once you've created something that you like, you can use the embedding feature to copy a code snippet and paste it into any web page that already exists. White label embedding, meaning taking the VizHub logo off of it, is one of the many features that you get with VizHub Premium, which is only $12 a month. You could make your vizzes private, use the AI Assist, and also upload larger data sets. There's kind of a small data limit on the free plan. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy VizHub.